What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, finally, after what feels like an eternity, I am making the rank 4 Spider-Woman showcase. Now, obviously, this is a screenshot of my rank 3 Spider-Woman. By the time this recording goes out, I will have my Spider-Woman up at rank 4. I'll have completed the Crucible and have my Spider-Woman up at rank 4, Sig 200. So let's jump right into some gameplay. The first fight I have here is not necessarily her best matchup. It's just a matchup that I wanted to try to see how effective she could be, and she does fine. I'd say she does fine in this situation. Not her prime matchup for sure. You'll see those in this video, don't you worry. But I figured she does have some ability accuracy reduction with the ensnare, so maybe that can work against Dark Phoenix, and in a way, it does. She also has quite a few hits on each of her special attacks, so she can avoid the special attack Nova Flame if you time things properly. And the ensnare, like I said, reduces ability accuracy, which can be incredibly helpful for preventing Nova Flame or even preventing her immortality at the end of the fight. Now, obviously, I would have liked to have prevented her immortality. It did not end up working out in this specific fight. But as you can see, she has enough hits in her special attacks after a full combo to prevent the duration of the special attack Nova Flame. And if I had gotten lucky with the ensnare, I could have prevented the immortality or the Nova Flame, or both. But unfortunately, I did not get lucky with the ensnare, so I lost out on the ability to close out the fight a little quicker. But honestly, for Dark Phoenix, who is an incredibly tough defender, she handled this fight fairly well. Like, let's assume that the Nova Flame gets canceled there. I wouldn't have lost more than 5-ish% of my health in total. So she actually did pretty well for that fight, way better than I was expecting her to do. Now, these are the fights where Spider-Woman is going to shine. Spider-Woman is good for really any range of health pool. She has a dedicated loop, and then once she runs out of gas, which is, her Fury buffs or Fury passes, you just reset the loop. And the wonderful thing about Spider-Woman is resetting the loop is just hitting the opponent normally. There's no special magic ability you need to do to reset her loop. You just keep hitting them until they die. Now, ideally, you're building up to your special 2 to apply that Retribution passive, and then after you throw that special 2, you throw as many special 1s as you can before you run out of that Retribution passive to then have to cycle back to your special 2. Typically, for short form health pools, it's 1 special 2, 1 special 1. I forgot there was more to this video because it's all in the same clip. So let me skip to where the other Enchantress fight is. Okay. So, typically, for short to medium form content, it is 1 special 2, and then 1 to 2 special 1s, and that's the gambit. The fight is over. For longer form content, you're going to be throwing more special 1s for sure, but the base damage you deal from just having those big Furies and dealing that constant onslaught of damage from your basic attacks and your special attacks, like longer form content, health pools in the millions, sort of like Labyrinth of Legends range or EOP range, she can still take that out in 1 rotation pretty much. So she does great in essentially every form of content that we have available. So this is a bigger Enchantress, and I'm pushing her to special 2 to get more of a burst of damage. That was still only 1 special 2, 1 special 1 for an Enchantress with around 600,000 health. I'm not sure exactly what is wrong with this video. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what goes wrong sometimes with the screen recordings on my phone. But this is a 1.2 million health Enchantress, and you're going to see that even at this health pool range, Spider-Woman still does so well. Like, she does not have to worry about running out of gas, even at this range. Now, obviously, she is one of, if not the best Enchantress counters available right now. Many thanks to the debilitate debuffs that she places on the opponent, counteracting Enchantress's spells up to 6. I have those 6 debilitates up right now, and I'll basically have those 6 debilitates up for the entire fight. She gains a debilitate, or she places a debilitate, should I say, whenever she gains a buff. So you're constantly gaining Fury, you're constantly triggering Dexterity. Those debilitates, they never really go away. And the wonderful thing about those debilitates is they increase the duration of that fumble debuff and also that ensnare debuff. Of course, your power stings are increased as well, but the power stings are typically consumed rather fast because you're making the opponent throw a special attack, you know? So here's the first special one that I throw against this Enchantress. I'm trying to push her to 2 bars of power to throw more specials. She doesn't want to do it, which is totally fine. There's still plenty of time left on the Retribution passive for me to get in another combo and build up to another special one to then hopefully bait her special attack and have her throw this special 2 with those 20 power stings, and that does end up happening. She almost dies from that power sting burst. If we take a look at that damage, that was 338,000 damage, followed by an additional 158,000 damage. So, for the sake of rounding and simplicity, we're going to say that is just shy of 500,000 damage from Power Sting. And then, of course, I'm still dealing all this massive damage from my Fury buffs, from the Retribution passive when countering a special attack. I don't really know what the problem is with, like, reverting these to their original format because it's the same video. There's no changing to them, but that doesn't matter. But regardless, Spider-Woman is just so strong. Now, we have Rintrah here. This is also going to be a full run of the Rintrah gauntlet on the CCP testing map. This is, of course, the small Rintrah. And with Spider-Woman, it's the same loop. She's really quite simple when you really break it down. Like, she's not that complex of a character to use. You build up to your special 2, you throw your special 1s, and then if the opponent's not dead, you just do the same thing you just did, and they'll eventually die. So, Spider-Woman, as you can see, is immune to neutralize. So, Rintrah basically just becomes a big meat shield because there's really no defensive threat outside of his special attacks, which, if you don't properly dex, like I missed right there, her signature ability, Evade, can save you on the dex. And there goes Rintrah at the rank 4 level in 51 seconds. So, it's pretty ridiculous how powerful this champion is. It's utterly insane. I do think she's most likely my favorite champion of 2025 so far. It's either Spider-Woman or Bastion, and believe me, once I get Bastion up to rank 4, there will be a showcase video of him, because Bastion is also just so incredibly powerful. But Spider-Woman here taking on the second tier health pool Rintrah. This is like an Alliance War health pool, or a health pool you'd see in story content. Around 600,000 to 700,000 is the range here. Trying to bait a special 2 from this guy here, dashing in, getting my dex, but the evade saves me. I think in this match specifically, I was a little early on the dex once or twice, and her signature ability evade saved me, you know, a handful of times from getting clipped by a special. Even though there's no ruptures on me, I still get saved. But the special 2 dex is relatively easy. It's just a quick time dex, so if you miss it, or you're a little early, Spider-Woman saves you, like she had saved me. So it's wonderful. I go for a little block bait there to throw another special 1. That's 20 power stings, and Rintrah is basically dead from that. One more special 2 dex into a 39k medium crit, and that's 700,000 health Rintrah in 58 seconds, or around 700,000 health. Now, this is 1.7 million health. This is an EOP health pool. 1.7, 1.6 million. That's what you expect in health pools of that range. Spider-Woman is going to handle it beautifully. Again, you just build up those Furies, you get to your Special 2. Your Special 2 gives you 5 Furies and also refreshes all of your current Furies. So, it's an incredibly useful special attack because not only does it set up your damage even further, but it gets you propelled even higher into your ramp. So, it's truly wonderful. I love it so much. Baiting a special 1 here from Rintrah, triggering the dex to keep my Fury buffs active. If you haven't noticed at this point, whenever Spider-Woman evades or triggers dexterity against a special attack, she refreshes the duration of her Fury buffs. And then the special 2 itself refreshes the duration of all of Spider-Woman's buffs. So if you somehow have a buff on you that is not native to Spider-Woman, that duration will be refreshed as well. Throwing my first special 1 there. Ideally, you're throwing your special 2 and then immediately baiting a special attack so that you can retaliate immediately by throwing 1 to 2 special 1s by pushing the opponent over that 2-bar power threshold. That way you don't have to worry about pushing them to special 3, and you get to maximize on your power sting damage in the process. So throwing 1 more special 1 here, baiting Rintrah's special 1. Even that single damage, I mean, that was like 200,000 damage in total. I'm trying to go for 1 more special 1, land a little intercept combo, get to toss my final special 1 here. I'm out of Fury buffs, but it doesn't really matter. I've got those Fury passives, which are still keeping my damage way high. I'm still building up my Fury buffs normally from my basic combos, and I just run out of gas with my Retribution, and Rintrah is still dead. Like, I don't even need to go back to the special 2. That was 1.7 million health in 1 minute and 41 seconds from Spider-Woman. No boosts, no synergies. This is rank 4 6200 Spider-Woman with a 4-star Ant-Man relic. I'm sorry, a 5-star Ant-Man relic. I do not have the 6-star Ant-Man relic, so I cannot show that off here for Spider-Woman. If I did, she would look even better. But with the 5-star, she still looks fantastic. So this is Kindred. A great option for Kindred is Spider-Woman because she is a Spider-Verse character. If you're not aware, Kindred has an increased pause duration when you counter a special attack when fighting Spider-Verse champions. So you can see that pause right by Spider-Woman's Furies on the right side is way longer than it typically is against normal champions. So I'm going to throw my special 1 here after throwing my special 2, and Kindred is going to bite the dust. That's it. I mean, that's the loop for short form content. And even some medium form content, like health pools in the 600,000 range, especially with class advantage, if you push the opponent to 2 bars of power, which would be to your benefit because the more power the opponent has when they throw a special, the more damage they take from the power sting. If you push your opponent to 2 bars of power with that special 1, and you only throw 1 special 1, they might be dead, depending on your crit RNG and how much damage your special 2 did at the time you threw it. They might legitimately be dead. So, it just depends. It just depends on the crits. But regardless, if they're not dead from that initial special 1, they'll be dead from the next one, or they'll be dead from the combo after. She's just so solid. She works for so many things. Like Onslaught here. She just does so well for Onslaught. Power Sting damage, the physical damage from all of her basic hits. Throwing my special 1 here. He only has 1 bar of power, and it doesn't matter. He's still dead. That Power Sting damage, let's see, that Power Sting damage from Onslaught was, let's call it 150,000 damage. 125 from the first burst, and then an additional 27,000 from the additional burst of damage from him having 1 and a bit bars of power. So 150,000 damage on that Power Sting after you've already dealt 300,000 damage, ramping up to the point where you can throw that special 1. It's pretty crazy. Now, this matchup is definitely an underrated one for Spider-Woman. Arnim Zola. So Spider-Woman has the potential to heavy counter Arnim Zola. It's a little tricky. It's not a guaranteed heavy counter. Like, you can't just dex back like you can with She-Hulk and always land the heavy. It is a little bit more specific. Like, you should be dashing back when dexing Arnim Zola's heavy earlier than most. Like, you don't want to actually trigger dexterity against the heavy attack because that's going to put you too close to the heavy to where you're still going to get clipped by the final hit. Whereas, as you saw earlier, I was dashing back a little early, so I wasn't triggering the dexterity, and that spacing was just close enough to where I can still land my heavy attack and still be totally fine. Now, obviously, if you can parry Arnim Zola, you can fight him with just about anybody, so it's not like Spider-Woman is unique in that regard, but she is unique in the sense that she can heavy counter him if you line it up properly. That was a massive amount of damage he just took from that special 1. I need to go for another heavy counter here, and I do not land that one because triggering her dexterity is going to put me too close, so I'm just trying to land one more heavy attack. And there it is, perfect spacing. As you can see, I dash back before triggering dex, and now I just go in for a full combo, and Zola bites the dust. So, while she's not going to be your Deathless Thanos or your Gladiator when fighting Zola, she can still get the job done, certainly. Now, final fight for this video, we have a Photon. Spider-Woman is pretty solid for Photon, but Spider-Woman's pretty solid for most champions, so that's not like anything new or special. With Photon, with Spider-Woman, ideally, you either bait her Pure Light form relatively early, or you're going to do what I do in this matchup, and I let her throw this final special 1. I go in for a medium attack. I bait her dash back so she can trigger Pure Light form, and then I simply just sort of dance around her, making the AI a little passive with some light whiffs to like, what's it called? Like, run the duration of the Pure Light form out. This is a good strategy when fighting Photon with most champions. Like, especially a champion like Spider-Woman, where you kind of have a very delegated, specific rotation. I could have pushed myself to my special 2, but I would have taken some chip damage from Photon's Pure Light form, and I didn't really want to do that. So I bait out her Pure Light form, I wait out the duration of it, I throw my special 2, I throw my special 1, and now Photon bites the dust. So that was a no damage taken rank 4 Photon fight there with Spider-Woman. This champion is incredible. I love her so much. I am just so thrilled to finally have her. It felt like it was going to take an eternity. Luckily, I was able to get her before the Titan rolled over, so I was able to start saving my Titan shards now for that next pool, because I now have every single champion available in the current Titan pool as of August 11th, Monday, August 11th, the recording of this video. So now I can save my Titans for the next pool, which I'm incredibly excited for. And yeah, I've got my Crown Jewel Spider Woman, who is just such a joy, and I cannot wait to take her into more and more content because at the rank 4 level, and I'm sure beyond, she would just be unbelievably powerful. So, thank you so much for watching this video on my rank 4 Spider-Woman. If you liked the content, and I really hope that you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hitting that like button. Both of those things are incredibly helpful for the channel, and it pushes the word out there to the YouTube algorithm that I am making content people are enjoying. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Peace.